Sweet. Oh man, won't let me get out of this. 1 second. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Abigail Blinn. I work with the Oregon Farm to School Network and Rogue Valley Farm to School in Southern Oregon. My role is to support child nutrition programs such as yourself, navigate the Farm to School reimbursement grant, non-competitive and the competitive portions, whether that be helping you find Oregon products, track local spending, and or the reporting and submitting claims process. And we have Amy here with ODE who reviews all your claims and is the best person to ask questions to. So I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey y'all, I email you a lot. I'm Amy Larman. And yeah, what Abigail says is true. I review all the claims that come in with the exception of the Ed Grant claims. So yeah.
Well,
And then Nadia is here as well, but she had to step away for a second, but she's our newest team member. And she will introduce herself when she gets back. Would everybody be
so,
able to mute if they're not talking? That would be awesome.
yeah, I have muting power, so
Oh,
I'll
cool.
Cool. Yeah, when Nadia gets back, I'll have her introduce herself. But we're hosting these like open hour sessions just to give you any necessary updates about where we are in the grant biennium and provide open time for you to work on your claims and ask questions in real time, as well as for like other schools and ECE programs to be here and they can help you answer questions as well. Um, Yeah, I'll record this and share out like the updates portion, but not the like question and answer portion. Uh, yeah, any questions so far before we kind of jump into updates? All right. Well, by now, any sponsor still participating in the grant has either submitted a claim or a spending plan to complete this school year and or has or is applying to the competitive grant for this program. We have other recorded sessions on the topic of reporting, claims writing, and the competitive grant application. It's on the Oregon Farm to School Network's YouTube channel, which I'll link in the chat. Great. Hi, Nadia. Do you want to introduce yourself quick?
Sure, yeah, sorry about that. The dogs decided to take this moment to go run around in the rain. I'm Nadia Kellum. I am pretty new with ODE and I help support the farm to school grant like documentation and customer service process of all the grants that we administer.
Sweet. Thanks for being here. Um, yeah, I want, I guess, Amy to share some updates on where we are with the competitive grant process. I could, but I might get something wrong. So is that okay to pass it to you, Amy, for a quick update?
Yeah, sure. So as of September, we were tapped of funds. Folks were awarded all that we had. And just a reminder that we do set aside a certain amount of money at the beginning of the biennium for the competitive reimbursement grant. And the other way that we fortify that money or that funding stream is through reductions and liquidations of folks that opt out of the farm to school grant, farm to CNP grant, and then also those who are not showing adequate spending process that or adequate spending that don't return a plan, like a spending plan, and that maybe just don't reply at all. So that's the legal way that we're able to redistribute those unused funds. So this year we ran out of funds in September. We are working on fortifying that funding stream currently. We will have additional funds, but running out of funds is not necessarily a bad thing because it means that people are spending their money. And so I think that's important to remember. Um and so we're thinking that within the next few weeks we should have a little influx. We do have two rounds that have closed, one that closed on 9/16 and one that closed on 10/15. Our next round closes on 11/15. And so there's some applicants that are pending right now, applications that are pending that influx. So whenever we have run out of money and we have these applications, they are awarded, they're reviewed and awarded in the order that they're received. So we still encourage, even though the funds have been depleted, we still encourage you to apply once your initial award gets to 0, because that puts you just that much higher up on the list to be awarded when we do have an influx of funding. So that's about it right now. I can't really give like a date, but I'm gonna say in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Great. That's super helpful. Anybody have questions on that specifically?
I have one. So I submitted mine in September and got the note saying that there would be money in the future. Should I submit a second one?
No.
Okay,
No.
perfect. Just making
No.
sure.
So I'm gonna guess, and I'll just tell you like the best date that I have is that so our next round closes 11/15. I'm just gonna guess that that's the round that we're gonna like put everybody in to, is that 11/15 round. So that's round 6. So you're in round 4. So yeah, stay where you're at. You're in a good spot.
Okay, perfect. That's kind of why I was like, I need to know.
Yeah.
Where am I at? Do I need to do anything?
You're in a good spot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Deanna, I see that you unmuted yourself, but we can't hear you if you are talking. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I want to spend the rest of the time just as open time for you all to work on claims and be able to ask questions in real time. I've put a link in the chat with or the Farm to CNP website for you to download the most recent claim sheet and fill out the required tabs and everything but the totals tab, and can kind of go into this more if people have questions. But yeah.
Lance or Deanne, do you have anything that you joined this call for specifically?
Nope. I was just curious what y'all were talking about.
Okay.
I think we have we're getting down there. We have, we didn't spend much last year, Amy, you'll remember. And then I think we have all but like 2,000 of it planned. So I don't think we're going to be able to apply for the competitive grant this month in November, but I will mark my calendars for round 7. I'll tell you what, Amy.
Yeah.
When's round 7 and applications due?
That one I'll have to get there's a timeline in the RFA. Let me get in there.
I was just looking on the website and the link that
Yeah, it's in the application materials.
I was looking in timeline.
Which doesn't really make sense. Um,
Application.
I want to say it's gonna be mid-December. I mean, it's every
Mhm.
month, so it's mid-December.
Right.
So it's
That's
been,
what I
I
figured.
mean, historically, it's been on the 15th or 16th of the month. So,
Yep. Okay.
yeah.
That answers all my questions. We came up with some creative ways to use our grant this year, so that's been fun. Supporting the school gardens and
Yeah.
working with some, the Happy Curry and the it used to be Lucy's tamales. Now I think
Mm-hmm.
it's Salsa's Locust.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been good.
So it's December 16th. I found it on my calendar. So,
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie.
yep.
Thanks, Debbie.
I knew I had it somewhere.
I'm like, let me download this application for the 30 millionth time.
Oh,
I-
it's a Monday.
Yeah, I put all the dates on my calendar so I wouldn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just a note, they close at 3 p.m., so it is midday.
Oh yeah, thanks.
That's a good note because sometimes that can get if you're I've missed them before because it was at 2. I'm like,
Mm.
but I thought it was end of day. So that 3
I don't
o'clock is
know why
important.
it's 3. That's procurement's doing. I don't know why I think I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea.
That's the end of their day.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, Debbie, do you have any interesting purchasing methods that you've used this year that you'd like to share?
I think my fun one is I'm doing a micro purchase. We're actually purchasing coffee from a roaster in our community that's like 3.5 miles away from our school. So that's been kind of fun.
Cool. Haven't heard that one before.
We're doing it with our breakfast. It's increased our breakfast participation by 30 to 40 kids a day at our high school level.
Wow.
And we're giving them about 1 to 4 ounces of coffee over ice, and then they add their milk to it. So they get a free coffee with a breakfast.
Is that like espresso or is it just coffee?
We're brewing a concentrate.
Okay.
So we brought in he's helped me with the whole process, but he helped me find a brewer that's doing a real strong concentrate. And then we brew it today and then we pour it over the ice tomorrow on the next day. So
Getting
and
them jazzed up.
yeah, it's been kind of fun. We have like 3 different syrups. We'll change syrups like probably December we'll do a peppermint.
Cute.
Sugar-free, pumpkin spice didn't go over as well as we expected.
Because it's sugar-free or because it was pumpkin spice?
Pumpkin spice, because we do vanilla and hazelnut every day, and those are both sugar-free. And then we did the pumpkin spice, and they hardly touched it. So,
Interesting.
Is
Yeah.
I would not think that it would be because it's pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe they're
right?
over.
maybe
Agreed.
they don't want to be basic.
Yeah.
Right? I know, that's what I thought too. But yeah, and we put it on a rack at the beginning. We kind of do different amounts because some kids didn't want it. The first day they were all the same, and we did like 4 ounces. And kids were like, this is way too strong because some kids have never had coffee, but have always wanted to be the kid with coffee in their hand. And so we did like an ounce of brewed coffee over the ice, and then they add their milk and a little bit of syrup, and they're like, this is really good. So kind of there's lots of pieces to it as far as the economics, because half of our kids are coming to school with coffee in their hand anyway.
Yeah.
So this allows the kiddos who really can't afford to do that, they can now have a coffee too. And they're just
What about negative feedback, Debbie, from parents or I don't know, staff or whatever?
Teachers, yeah.
so I've had 0 from parents. Some staff, when I first talked about it, were like, and how is this gonna affect-" they kind of freaked out at first in our meeting when I told all the teachers we were doing it. There was just a few that were like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? But since we've started, there's been no complaints. There's been no negative feedback since we started doing it. And that we started the first part of October. So we've been doing it for about a month now with very little.
Kids are gonna get jacked on something no matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
know that at my daughter's school, they walk in with full-on ices at like 8 whatever in the morning.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I've
Exactly.
seen that too. Dutch Brothers.
Yeah, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they love their sugar, so
Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
And are you providing them in like the to-go cup so it looks like they could have gotten it from anywhere, or is it in
Yes.
season? That's nice.
Yep. They're just in white in clear, clear cups with a lid on it. So they add the lid, they add their milk. So we just get the ice and the coffee together and then they do the rest.
Gingerbread would be good for next month, probably.
It would. I might try that.
Gingerbread. Maybe, but that might go over like the
spice.
pumpkin spice, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Peppermint. It's a good idea.
Well, we're gonna keep doing pumpkin spice until it's gone. And I had five jars. And I think we've only gone through one. So October, November will be pumpkin spice, and then we'll go from there.
Name it something different.
Yeah, it's on the containers though.
Cinnamon spice.
Fall Wonder.
Oh,
There we go.
Fall
Put a-
Wonder flavor.
Put a little sign over the label that says fall winter. I like that.
Yeah.
like, wait, this tastes the same.
Naming
Right?
contest, kids. What would you like this flavor to be? No, don't do that. That could totally backfire.
Yeah.
That's creative, and also like probably they're drinking milk too with that, like just coffee flavored milk, really.
Right. And it's not adding any calories, a little caffeine, but not. It's
Not
less than
any
100
more
milligrams.
than a soda or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're carrying those in too. So
Mhm.
yeah. So that was I was worried about negative feedback. So I didn't do a major, hey, this is what we're doing. Just because I wasn't sure how parents would take it, but kids have loved it and we've had very little feedback either way, really.
That's awesome.
And consistently serving 60 and increased by 30 breakfasts a day. So
Wow.
That's really cool.
yeah. So many good things with that. Between farm to school and the whole connection with the farm with the roaster. And he's going to work with us, working with the same farmer so that we have consistent product as well as we go forward.
Sweet.
So,
And it's got some cool factor, teenagers.
right?
Teenagers don't like school lunch.
Yeah.
It's not
And
cool.
we kind of have seen an influx on our lunch as well. And I think because it made kids think that we were cool. Oh, they're serving us coffee, so they're cool. So maybe this isn't so bad.
Yeah,
So,
maybe you're cool.
right. Yeah. It's kind of been it's been a different dynamic. So, and fun.
Yeah, I'd be curious if other schools are doing that. I feel like, yeah, I've never heard that. So
It's
I
kind of
saw
a
it on
cool-
Facebook last spring.
Oh, it's kind of a
So,
cool angle to take of like focusing both on the meals you're providing, but also on like the side pieces that can make them seem more enticing. Like, I wonder if that's a really cool avenue. I wonder what other examples we could think of like that.
yeah.
yeah, or even coffee during lunch. Need to pick me up,
So that's all I really had. I just wanted to kind of see if there's anything new on the competitive grant and just kind of knowing where we were headed with it. So
Yeah, no, that's what this is for. People just to hop on and get updates and yeah, share their own updates, which is great. I'll probably just leave this open in case anyone else hops on, but yeah, feel free to stay on or work through claims or hop off.
yeah, I think my claim is done for now. I could work on my education grant. I do have that money that I need to submit.
Yeah.
But I have spent some.
Well, I think Rick will start asking folks in January if there's been no movement, so you got a little time.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's what I needed to know too. It's like I always
Yeah, and
get
that's
my money.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say too, like if these 3 rounds drain the competitive funds like to zero again, it'll be January before we do do additional outreach to folks that maybe aren't meeting that adequate spending requirement. And it'll be other competitive reimbursement grantees, if there are any, that are like early rounds that haven't spent. So it's everybody, not just folks that haven't spent their initial award. We'll start kind of like trying to communicate with everybody, like, hey, we're getting towards the end of the, end of this. So I don't know if that'll help. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe everybody's like, and spends their money, but I imagine we'll have a little bit that we can get.
Nice.
So
Yeah, things happen.
I appreciate you guys' work on it.
It is
Sorry, Abby.
okay. It's nice. It's a nice position to be in, and like I'm glad people are spending funding. I feel like this don't want to leave anything on the table, so it's good.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I used to think I needed to split my dollars between the two bienniums. So I had farm to school both years. So it wasn't until we got the competitive grant that was like, okay, I need to spend it all. So I need to claim it all. Because I would like hold part of my claiming so that I could tell my administration that I had farm to school dollars to spend on stuff. So that was my past practice. And then when the competitive grants came, it's like, oh, I need to spend it down. So I started putting it all out there.
that can be a little, tough for the second year if we do end up not having funds,
Right.
But I don't, yeah, there's not really a way around that.
That's like usually not the case, but yeah, this year was like, yeah, that's hard to plan.
And but I like knowing that I just keep track of everything we spend now, where before when I was done spending for the year, I quit recording it. So now I have one of the spreadsheets that's open, and I have my admin assistant move everything to that spreadsheet. And then when I need to spend down to get to that zero, I have everything I've spent from all of last year's, how I spent down this year's, so that I could apply again. And so I was to a zero for the first time this year, to where I didn't have money that I needed to use as well. So I was a little worried whether it'd be, if there was still lots of money, if I'd get through the 8,000 a second time or a third time. But now I think I'll be fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, because we're keeping track and
Well,
okay. I think that's all I had, unless you guys had other questions for me. I think I'm gonna pop off and go make some bread.
Nice.
enjoy your Friday and end your weekend.
I will, you too. Thank you guys. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Well, yeah, feel free. I'm just gonna keep it open and just in case, because I said I would. So, but feel free to hop off if you want to. It's till the end of the hour.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go so I can do some work. Email me if you get any questions that you need, but I think you got it.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
How are things going for you, Nadia?
Good. Yeah. How are things in your world?